Hello and welcome to Get Collected. I'm your host, Soul Brother Mike, and it's Tuesday, April 25th, 2017, and you're listening to Season 3, Episode 2. Get Collected is co-hosted by Chrissy Cochran.
Hello.
Today in What's the Deal, I'll be promoting the new members only section of my website. And here's something I'm sharing with you, an acoustic version of my latest single. And then in the last part of today's show called Get Poetic, Chrissy is sharing with you some of the work of Harvey Mackenzie. Now let's get to the show. So what's the deal? Here's the deal. There's a brand new members only section on my website. So for a limited time, it's free to sign up. And when you do, you'll get access to more than 18 albums and EPs. It's more than 125 songs. This music is B-sides, unreleased, and rare albums from the many projects I've worked in over the years. The earliest album I've shared is from 2003 when I was only 15 years old. So I really encourage you to sign up by heading to soulbrothermike.com. So now for the next part of our show called Here's Something. Today I'm sharing with you an acoustic version of my brand new single, No Love Tomorrow. It's off my new album, Learn to Vibe, which is not out until May 5th. But if you pre-order it by going to soulbrothermike.com/pre-order, you can get a digital download of the entire album today, and I'll ship the CD to you right away. In the meantime, have a listen to this acoustic version of No Love Tomorrow.
Baby, you know I want a miracle, beauty and a love so spiritual, and a kiss that makes it difficult to not do again and again. You've got a side like ebony, and I'm smoked when you kiss me so friendly, and I move like your mother likes, but babe, it's 'cause you're giving me butterflies, and I don't wanna wait. Man, I wanna love like there's no love tomorrow. And sun like she say, no love tomorrow. So love like there's no love tomorrow. And baby, I'm just so surprised to find that I was the man that consumed your mind. But baby, I don't wanna waste my time. I just wanna love like there's no, oh yeah, no love tomorrow. 'Cause sun like she say, oh yeah, no love tomorrow. So love like there's no, oh yeah, no love tomorrow. 'Cause sun like she say, no love tomorrow. No love tomorrow. Yeah, there's no love tomorrow.
All right, that was No Love Tomorrow, an acoustic version by Soul Brother Mike. Reach out to him on Twitter at Soul Brother Mike to let him know what you thought. So what? Now we're just into the end?
Yeah, now it's just like after the last part of the show.
Now for the last part of our show. Today we are doing Get Poetic, and I'm going to be sharing some poetry from the poet Harvey Mackenzie. This past winter, we visited my grandparents in Dartmouth over the holidays, and my grandfather had recently found several copies of a book of poetry at a neighbor's apartment. He knew that poetry is an interest of mine, so he put aside a copy for me, and I've been enjoying it so much that I wanted to share it on the podcast. The book is called High Out of the Heat with Harvey, and Harvey Mackenzie is a Cape Breton-based poet. The book's introduction and the back cover are the only sources of info I can find about Harvey, and it looks like this was a pretty small pressing, mostly intended for friends and family. It was published in 1974 by Formac Publishing in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, which is a company that still exists, so you may actually be able to order a copy if you enjoy this book. Harvey hailed from Cape Breton, but for 30 years he worked for the Royal Bank of Canada in New York City. That puts his birth date sometime around the turn of the 20th century, and it means he was living and writing poetry around the same time and place that Billie Holiday was growing up, when jazz was being born. This is one of my favorite places in time. It's why books like The Bell Jar and The Best of Everything and TV shows like Mad Men are my absolute favorite. I find the ambition and the grime of New York in the mid-20th century to be delicious and intoxicating. But natural beauty is more my pace, which is probably why Harvey's poetry speaks to me so strongly. He contrasts the gritty urban cityscape with the beauty of Cape Breton, its landscapes, sunsets, and quiet villages. So I'm going to read you 4 of his poems. They're all quite short and sweet. This first one is called Vacation Lure. Take me back to the lakes again, to the curlew's cry from a marshy fen, away from the marts and the mobs of men and the harrowing, humid heat. Back where the mellow moonlight beams on scented vales and singing streams, back to a lotus land of dreams, far from the sordid street. Take me back where a man can laze, on sylvan slopes where the cattle graze, far from the madding, modern maze of a town that never tires. Back to serene simplicity, under a star shop canopy, back to the scenes that hold for me the end of all desires. Next, I'll read 2 shorter poems with female figures. I'm the sort of person who can't relate to a thing if it doesn't involve any women, and these 2 little poems made me smile. First up, let's do To a Flower Found in a Tourist's Guidebook. What ancient garden knew your bloom, and was it 'neath fair Spanish skies? Or did your beauty grace the tomb where Keats the deathless dreamer lies? Or were you plucked by fingers rare from twilight fields of dewy grass to deck the dark, disheveled hair of some romantic peasant lass? Our third poem describes evening in Cape Breton, something he writes about often, and I can picture him at a typewriter, looking out his window at twilight, watching the sky and breathing in the cool air, and I feel like I'm there with him. This poem is called Village Evening. Twilight and the tide returning back to the arms of the azure sea. Sunset and the first star burning deep in the depths of immensity. Nightfall and the last of gloaming lingering along the old lake shore. Evening bell and a late heard homing and a woman framed in a cottage door. I'll leave you with what might be my favorite poem by Harvey. This one's called Riches. Ah, let the misers have their day to watch the hoard grow higher of worldly goods and gains that they so ardently admire. A baneful breed, ingrained with greed, to which they all aspire. For gems, give me the starry sky, for gold, the rising moon. For music, just the lullaby of some late lark or loon, whose laughter breaks along the lakes at night's enchanted noon.
All right, so that's our show for today. Thanks so much for listening. Tune back in on Thursday for an all-new philosophy. Stay tuned and stay collected.